All right, guys, welcome to another episode of 40 and Fit Podcast. My name is John Brook, and I will be the leader of the gang today, switching off with several other people throughout the week. So, to my left.
Yes!
Right, I got it right.
All right. He's been practicing all week, folks.
I had to vision the letters in my head. We got our main man, Dave Kalari.
What's up, folks? How are you today? I'm going to wait for everyone to respond.
Yeah, everyone clap. Good. To the far right, we have Mr. Mike Hoban.
What's up, everyone?
Wow. No emotion whatsoever. He's
What?
Behind the mic, we got a boy, Clifford. He's bashful over there. It's cool. You're going to hear him one day. They did someone made a point that we couldn't hear you. They wanted you to be mic'd up. Yeah. So last time I got that actually. So
really?
Yeah, they gave me feedback.
Nice.
They want to hear. They're like, "Who the hell's that guy? He's whispering in the back."
He's not whispering.
He's just not mic'd up.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, I don't know what the hell he's talking about." I was like, "I don't know." Our special guest is a special person that has to do pretty big in the industry locally. Actually getting more national, I should say.
I'm starting to get there.
Right.
We're on the East Coast, all the way to the West Coast now.
Okay.
But,
Big wig, okay.
I grew up in this area, so I like that. I like that local feel.
All right, big fish, little pond. Got it. I got you. Today we have our friend Chris. How do you pronounce your last name?
My last name is Appiah.
Appiah.
Appiah. Appiah.
All right, cool. Appiah, people. All right, because we weren't sure.
Yeah.
Why is it? Going to say this right off the bat. What's Kofi? Who is that?
So
Where did that come from?
Kofi is my middle name.
I thought it was going to be his favorite morning drink.
Born on Friday.
Chris, you were born on Friday.
My dad's country. My dad's from Ghana, Africa. So,
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So Kofi means a boy born on Friday. So that's my middle name.
You realize
my last name is Appiah.
3 major champions of the UFC are from Africa right now. The big.
They don't call it the motherland for nothing.
I'm telling you, man. The UFC still hasn't got to Africa yet, but the 3 top.
Africa is the final frontier. Everybody will be there eventually.
No, man, it seems like it's the place to go at this point. But awesome. So, Chris, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We were actually really excited to bring you on because obviously we know that we are very fitness based on this podcast, right? We like to focus on men's health, the health of and the industry as a whole because we're all trainers here. We all have come, including yourself, from New York Sports Club. Very interesting. But you're also not. It's weird because you're technically not in the realm of our niche market, 40 and fit. You're actually right below it. But what interests me about
39 and fit?
Well, even less. He's only
like 32 and kind of fit.
Yeah, so if anyone
doing power lift,
if anyone hasn't seen what's your it's Chris _ Kofi?
Regular _ Chris.
Regular _ Chris on Instagram.
Not diet, not sugar free, just a regular Chris.
Not special, not spectacular, nothing other than that, just regular Chris. If anyone has actually seen his Instagram, it's insane. During his last competition, what did you pull on the deadlift?
Pull
my back
700 and I squat 700.
How do you squat and pull?
That's some people's total.
Seriously, in a week. Like, that's insane.
That's some people you throw their bench press in. That's their total.
Right.
And they do well.
Right? And that's like Cliff's leg press.
He can't even, I don't know, microphone to even defend himself here.
That's what happens. But yeah, no, that was really impressive, I have to say. I saw it, but again, I mentioned this to you also. I saw the plates fall off the side. And I saw the whole. I was like, "What just happened? Like, did they not put a clip on?"
So there was a clip on it, and I guess it was just leaning to the side when I was holding it because I just held it there for freedom.
Yeah, you were talking. I saw you.
And then the weights just fell off the end, which added more effect for my regular Chris life. So I loved it, but that was a PR. I've only been powerlifting for about 2.5 years now.
Coaching through who?
April.
We know it. Well, I know
You know
April.
Abe?
I know I've known Abe for a couple of years
Coach Abe. He has been absolutely awesome, just teaching me all the ins and outs of powerlifting and just the disciplines and the technique. And like, I've been strong, but even before I started powerlifting, like I couldn't like squat below parallel or anything like that. I was like uncomfortable. My max was like 315, 400. And then once you
Wait.
Which is
315 for 100 reps.
No.
It's like I fucking squat for shit.
315 like
Slash
400,
400.
Oh, okay.
in that area before he like tweaked like all the technique things, and we're still on that rise. We're still seeing how much I got in me at this point, and I compete in states. Normally in the 120 kilo class, but this year I'm going to compete in the 120 plus. I'm a little bit hefty.
Quarantine was rough on all of us.
Quarantine was rough on all of us, and I'm just way too busy with the business to lock in on the weight loss and trying to lift 800 pounds. So I said, you know what?
In one lift.
Let me have fun with it. Let me just compete in where I come in weight wise and just see how it goes.
Okay, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Is there a specific? I know it's just for fun right now. Any specific goal for the end of this year? Are we going to break 700? 702?
The goal for the end of the year is to total 2,000 pounds.
Wow.
Are you pulling conventional deadlift or sumo?
Conventional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sumo. You're so
I
close
no
to the
problem with
ground
sumo.
already
No
with
problem with
sumo.
sumo, but I'm a conventional puller.
Sumo's like you tripped over a pebble and all of a sudden you're up.
Right. It doesn't go that far. On sumo, it's like 6 inches off the ground.
It's crazy because like I can't like deadlift over 405 sumo.
It feels weird. I can't do it. I feel like I'm going to fall over.
My legs are going to rip out from
Yeah.
my legs, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just an awkward feel also.
Yeah,
I can't get stabilized on it. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. So you're competing. You're into fitness. Obviously, you've been doing this for a while. You worked for major big box companies doing sales, right?
Yeah, I've always been
Or management also.
always sales management
Okay.
in that area. Started like almost everybody as like a membership counselor, right? Working the streets, getting prospects, getting leads, calling them, everything like that, and just kind of worked my way up the ladder. After college, when I was with Robert Wood Johnson, that's really what kind of got me. That's what I fell in love with, like the fitness business side of it, and we opened up Robert Wood Johnson Fitness and Wellness Center in New Brunswick, from hole in the ground to full construction complete open, and then managed the pre-sale for the same company, but the Hackensack University Medical.
What is the company called? Like I don't even know.
Fitness and Wellness Professional Services,
It's a really
and
good name.
they partner with hospitals
Right.
to bring medically based fitness facilities to suburban areas.
Was it not the same one that did Valley over here? Is that the same company?
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what I was
The one in like on McKee, right? Yeah, exactly. I never knew what happened with that. Did
Oh, it's still there.
they say it?
Oh, they have. It's a very older demographic.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot
It's
of.
definitely high price and everything like
Yeah.
that. And like they're
Yeah.
doing stuff like blood pressure, inches, all this stuff every like 6 months. So it was really nice for the older demographic to know that there's science behind it. There's a nurse there, so you feel a lot more comfortable. It was really cool.
Oh, that's really cool. Random question about that company itself. I read when I was, the way the staff works there, or at least the trainers there, that you had to be an exercise physiologist. Am I incorrect? Do you remember that? Or,
I was never a trainer there. I was
okay.
I was only in management. Yeah. So
That is accurate, though. Because
they did, right?
Yeah, I was looking for a place to work out for a little bit because I wanted a gym outside of the gym I worked in.
Correct.
And so I went there just to, you have to take a tour. You can't just walk through the facility. And the tour guide, which she explained that everything was, everyone who worked there had to have at least a bachelor's degree in exercise physiology or a related field.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty high level.
Narrows the playing field over there.
Yeah.
Weird. Oh, okay. I don't know. Do we feel like that's a selling point?
It is and it isn't. I think there's a big gap still between having that kind of stuff, like the blood pressure, the nurses, and there's a huge disconnect between trainers on a ground level that understand what that stuff
does.
You know what I mean? Like the three of us get it,
Yeah.
but how many others do? And that can go hand in hand. I had this discussion with Jeff Tuesday about where he wants the gym to go, and one of our trainers would like to see us start to do more clinical type stuff. But there's a huge educational curve that has to go along with that.
Oh yeah, and it's just weird. I always felt like that was not a knock on trainers as it is now, but it's like you're really limited because there's those people that have these degrees and they're going to go there and get like a $15 an hour job.
Yeah, well, it's between that and cardiac rehab, basically, when you do ex-phys. Those are your two choices.
Yeah, you really.
I did cardiac rehab as one of my things for like 2 weeks. It was the most mind-numbing experience.
Yeah, but you make a lot more money.
I guess.
Yeah.
But again, it's about your passion.
No, exactly. But I mean, just some people when they're looking for a job out of college.
Right.
So let's talk about jobs here. So, Chris, you started off doing sales, and somehow you literally just got your own business. Talk us through that. I know you were telling us a little bit before. Talk us through it, because I have to say I'm very inspired by that because, again, we're very focused on the late 30s to early 50s in this podcast, but you are in your early 30s, and you already have your foot in the door for a specific market that we've always been in. And for you to be that specific entrepreneur at your age, I'm very impressed with. So, yeah, just how did you get into it? Why?
Yeah, it started back with RWJ, right? And just really finding that love for the business end of fitness, right? I didn't go to school to be a trainer. I went for sports management and marketing, and when I got into the fitness industry, I was like, what am I doing? Like, back then, you still stood on the street and prospected with the clipboard and got people's names and everything like that. In the beginning, I was like, I can't do this. Like, this isn't for me, right? But then once the gym actually opened, because remember I started in pre-sale.
Pre-sales, right.
Once the gym actually opened, you saw the people that you signed up, and they're like, thank you so much for talking me into actually doing this, right? Because as gym salespeople, like, all we're doing is talking people into taking care of themselves, right? So, and obviously paying for a membership too. But just like seeing that real joy out of them, because I overcame those objections and they became a member and they did something better for themselves, just gave me a certain love for it. And from there, I'm very, very competitive. I was like, all right, well, I have to be the best at this. To only find out that in our industry, when you do really well in fitness sales, for some reason, you end up getting let go.
Sounds about right.
It's like, what do you mean? I'm selling, I'm doing well, right? It's like you kind of max out the budget for a fitness center in most cases, right? So I was there, I wanted to make more money, but do the same thing. They couldn't do anything, so I was like, all right, well, let me find something else, right? So I was just jumping from place to place, right? I went from RWJ to say, let me see if I can do something else in sales, and I went into advertising sales. It was all on the phone. Hated it, right? I realized that I love that connection of being in front of people and connecting with them. So went back to work in fitness, and that's when I was with NFC Amenity Management. They were NFC Amenity is they essentially run fitness centers for like high rises and
residential
stuff like
stuff,
that, right? Yeah. So it was different than what I had done before too, but same concept. Loved it. Again, there was like a cap on how much I was getting paid. Same thing happened when I was working for Peloton.
Wow.
And it was just over and over and over again to the point where I was like, how can I like make a livable wage, doing what I love for these studios and essentially when working for Cycle Bar, I started working for Cycle Bar. They brought me in to create a sales process for them. I realized now, because I'm outside of the corporate world where there's like a board who makes the rules, right? Now I'm working for individual franchise owners who do whatever works for them.
Yes.
Right? So I realized, I'm like, all right, well, if I do well here and I can produce the numbers to give you a profitable studio, I can probably pitch this to other franchise owners who have other franchises and see if they'll take me on, right? And that's pretty much what happened in a nutshell. I started putting it out there to other studio owners, like, hey, I can probably sell a lot better than the people that you have there if you have anybody there at all. Mm-hmm. Give me a shot. And long story short, or long story long at this point, it's kind of worked out that there's a lot of studios that need real sales help. And people will pay you individually. That each place I worked for paid me. They put me on. They liked the work that I did. Now I can just give that to multiple studio owners. As long as I can keep the results there, I can grow as big as I want.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you've been in the game. You've obviously seen the evolution of where fitness is right now. This is also a big topic that we're always wondering about here. Like, where do you see the industry? Because you work for Peloton, which is huge, right? You were there at the beginning. You're not with them now. They're like a $2 billion company at this point, right? That was part of you.
Wish I still had time.
I was going to say, that was all you, man. You left. What's going on? Then obviously you worked with the big box, and you do the boutique, right? Where do you see this industry going right now? Like, are we? I've said this question out loud before. I'm like, is the big box gym dead, or do we feel boutique is probably is the only way to go online? Have you sold online programs for people? Like, how's that worked out for you?
I think where it's going is going to be connected fitness, right? So Peloton and those people that are going to be there for at-home workouts, and then boutique as the other side of it. I think big box is going to take a back seat. Just because, the big box model is really more built on you going in there and you knowing what you have to do pretty much, unless you're buying a personal trainer, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas boutique, it's like you're kind of getting that personal trainer and that workout for considerably less cost of what it would be to have a personal trainer session per session, right? If you're buying an unlimited membership for $139 to $179, and you're going to a place like OTF, right? You're in a group still, right? But you're getting a little bit more personal attention that you probably wouldn't have got at your gym unless you were paying $500-$600 that month for a personal trainer to get you to those results.
Right.
I think more and more people just don't have the time to figure out how to work out on their own or go use machines, or the motivation, right? And if they want to work out on their own, they're on that connected fitness train. They're on Peloton, Tonal, all these things, right? If they don't like working out on their own, in most cases now they're going to a boutique fitness studio because they get that community vibe and they get more one-on-one attention all wrapped in one in comparison to a big box.
Do you think that the big box can be salvaged? Or what should the big box gyms be focusing on? Since you're behind the scenes, you're the one that apparently is talking directly to consumers, right? Are they asking for anything specific that the big box gyms are just missing out on completely?
I think that the big box gyms still speak a lot more to men.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And because us guys, we don't need guidance. We don't need anybody to teach us anything, right? And boutique is taking a lot, pretty much all the women out of it, and I think that's where that's the place that big box is holding, like guys between 21 and 40 who can do it on their own, do their thing, and that's the demographic that's still going to go there. Because again, even in these boutiques, in most of the studios that I see, it's like 80%, 85% women, and then 15% men. And truth be told, the people that are paying for fitness are women, right? So I think that's where the industry is going. It's either connected or boutique, and a lot of it is not so much because of the workout, but the community. Right? You don't
That's
get a
huge.
lot, you don't
Yeah,
really
we started
get
talking
that.
about that.
You don't get that community, that vibe really in big box gyms, because most of the time headphones are on, like don't even talk to me, you'll do a group class, right?
Yeah.
And then that's your community, right? So like the gyms that have the ability to jump into like group exercise, I think that those will last longer. But if it's just treadmills and weight machines, I think your days are numbered.
Yeah. You said being numbered. You said that you've done a lot with obviously Cycle Bar, right? And you just recently have touched upon with F45. What do you think the future of the boutique? Who are the big players now? What do you think is going to be the ones that stick out, especially with everything opening up? COVID's kind of, I don't want to say it's done yet because it's clearly not done, but with it opening up to the public, starting in 19, gyms are allowed at 100% capacity. I don't know, is that the same with boutique? Like, are they allowed to go to 100%?
Yeah. And like, it depends on obviously the size of your facility. Like a lot of boutique studios are a little bit smaller, or a lot of bit smaller, I should say. But the ticket is higher, so you make your money a lot easier as a business owner in boutique because the overhead tends to be a lot less. You're packing people in. I think we're going to have a quiet summer when it comes to gym memberships and selling and things like that. But like once the fall comes in, I think we're going to have a huge resurgence. And I think most people, if you are able to give people results in community, they're going to come back. They're going to go there because a lot of people haven't been working out for over a year, right? And then now everyone can go back to gyms 100%, but it's summertime, and we didn't have a summer last summer, right? So I think that once that summer passes, you'll see a really big boom, and it's going to be. I think there's going to be room for everybody to eat.
That's cool. So to reiterate, we do believe that it's going to slow down for some. I do 100% believe that people are ecstatic to be able to go out and travel. So therefore, everyone's going to get that chance. They're going to take advantage of that. They're going to bounce. They really are going to leave. The shore is going to be packed. I think the summer is going to be a lot harder to deal with. And that I wasn't so sure about September. I'm just wondering if, let's say, after was it Labor Day? Or was it Labor Day. Labor Day. September, yeah. After Labor Day, I'm wondering how big it will be back. And it's weird because I feel like this is the time to be marketing, or at least starting to market certain things.
The playing field has been even,
right,
in the sense of like where people are going, right? And now the people that will come out on top, in my opinion, are the ones that create that vibe, create that energy, the cool place to be, or you're really getting results there. I think that's what people are going to gravitate to most.
More results-driven programs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where more people will actually see. Do you see? Let me ask you this: do you see? It's weird because we've been here at this specific location. We have one person that does marketing for us, and she firmly. It's whenever she does like some sort of social media marketing, it's always just losing body fat, like type of a drive, right? And I'm like, not everyone wants to lose weight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you guys market that? Because I know you said you also did part of that. You could do that for businesses as well. Like, how do you? What's your opinion on that?
For us, for my team, our whole approach is being real with the person, right? Mm-hmm. We do everything we do in terms of working leads for our clients is all about building rapport, right? So we're asking you questions, right? Like, why are you interested in Cycle Bar at all, right? Why are you interested in working out? Why is that important to you? Okay, so how often are you really going to, dedicate your time to do this, right? And like really getting the person to commit to themselves before anything, and then from there, it's fitting them with the package that makes most sense, right? Mm-hmm. I tell my team, don't just go for the unlimited. Don't just try to sell the big thing. You ask the questions for a reason. put them in the package that fits them best, in your opinion, or lower, right? Not higher, right? Because what happens is you put somebody in an unlimited membership who isn't an unlimited exerciser, right? And they go once, maybe twice, and they're sore, then they don't go for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe they go again, they end up using it like 4 or 5 times, maybe 6 times, which is solid, which is good, but they don't feel like they're doing everything to justify having an unlimited membership, where if you put somebody in something smaller, like a 4-pack or an 8-pack, right, they think that they'll be able to come 6 to 10 times a month. You put them in something smaller, they can hit a goal there, right? They can work out 8 classes and be like, oh, I worked out all 8. I crushed it. I worked out all 4. I'll upgrade, right? But if you start at unlimited, there's nothing there, right? And then you end up having to try to downgrade somebody, and that whole mentality around downgrading makes you feel as if you're not hitting the goals that you originally set for yourself, and now you're back in that spiral as somebody trying to get into a routine. So I really focus, me and my entire team focus on putting people in what works for them or under it so that they can achieve something and get there.
Yeah. Oh, no, that totally makes sense. I think that as trainers, we've been driven, it's been drilled in us to the overcoming objectives type of situation, right? Like asking people, hey, did you drink coffee today? Maybe if you didn't drink coffee, you could afford personal training type of thing. It's always about the hard sell.
Everybody can afford it. That's the bottom line. Like, everybody can afford it. It's, do you want to pay for it? Right. Like, is it worth it to you? And I think it's better to come from a place of being a realist and be like, dude, if you're only coming once a week, you're a winner in my book, because it's more than the 0 that you're doing right now, right? Okay. And we'll talk about twice a week when you get there, right? But if you try to push somebody into something that's too big for them, like, a lot of times people will like, I'll do it. If you're a good salesperson, you get them to do it, but it's just the beginning of the end, right? In most cases, right? And that person is telling you they're going to do something that they really can't do. Right. And in most cases, as salespeople, we're on to the next once we sell somebody. And that person's at the beginning of their journey, right? So now that person's alone in the entire process of trying to get results. Whereas before, you have a better chance of being successful.
Slowly, gradually.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Baby steps.
Yeah. Starting with a place to go as opposed to trying to start at the top.
Right.
Because then you just set them up for failure.
And having real goals to hit, right? And like that could be as simple as working out once a week and having something that you can have a way to quantify that. Right.
Right, yeah. Andrew said that, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I was listening to that this morning or yesterday, and it was something like whatever the acronym was. It made it even have been easy. The first one was something that was easy. Yeah, so it's like, just put on your gym shoes or put on your workout outfit. Don't even go to the gym. Just do the first thing. And then the next thing is, I think, was acceptable. So sometimes getting to the gym, not even doing anything,
walk through that door,
hang out at the juice bar for an hour, get to know the staff, whatever. But you made it. And then it starts to become a habit of getting into,
Right. Yeah, that's pretty huge. I think that the personal touch makes a big difference. Like you said, we'll talk about the 2 days a week after you get the one down.
Yeah,
right?
start coming in once.
Right. Yeah, don't jump the gun yet because you have no idea what it's like.
It's a real thing too, right? Because I tell all my clients, like, I know we've been taught to hard sell. I'm like, we're going to soft sell, because most people have gym PTSD, right? Where they're so used to, like, oh, they set foot in there. Hey man, let me show you around. I got something. You're going to be gone today, right? And like everybody has this shield up as soon as they sign up for anything fitness, because they feel like it's going to be like the old school. They're going to be pressured into something. They're going to end up not using it. So I think it's great to go the opposite way and just completely break that wall down, and it's proven to be really successful for us as a team, right? At first, it's it's hard for a lot of our clients to kind of like accept it.
Right.
But like once the results, once the end of the month is there, right, and the memberships are there and the revenue is up, then they're like, oh, okay, all right, I see it, and then second month you have the same results, and they're like, okay, all right, they get what they're doing, and then from there it's really smooth sailing. At least that's what it's been so far for us.
Okay.
It's like prove it in the beginning, and then once they see it and they believe it, it's like, all right, we'll stick around with you.
Have you ever come across owners that were very apprehensive because we're very honest on this podcast, right? The people we work with sometimes don't see it that way. They want instant gratification, right? And we just can't. We try and portray like, listen, you just need to wait. We're in the middle of COVID, dude. We can't force people to walk through the door. We can't even work out without masks right now, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, have you come across owners like that just want, and how do you get around that?
Everybody's been really understanding of COVID, and because I worked through COVID, like A/B testing, like messages to send out to people, keeping people excited and stuff like that, we were able to do a lot better than what we thought coming back. So, again, my business grew in COVID, right? Before COVID, we had 2 clients. Now, today, we have
3.
49. We have 49 coast to coast, right? And it's grown like this all through word of mouth. We haven't done any marketing, for the business itself.
Imagine you did marketing.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine you did your own marketing.
Yeah, we think about it all the time, but for now, we're growing so fast that we don't want to water down the service, right?
Sure.
So we're just taking it day by day, but because we've grown in COVID, right? Everybody that's reached out to us is coming from the same place of, we just dealt with COVID. We need to get our numbers back up. You did it for this guy. Can you do it for us? And it's like, we can do the same thing that we did for that guy for you, but I can't guarantee you that that you're going to come out of it, because, like I was saying to you earlier, I created a sales force for fitness studios, essentially, right? But no matter how good of salespeople we are, if you don't have quality instructors, if you don't have welcoming staff at the front, right? If you're a shitty owner and you don't take care of your members and the facility itself, people aren't going to spend money with you, no matter how good of a sales force we are. And that's the one thing that I drill in our clients' head in onboarding, is that we're not magicians, right? For that matter, what we're doing is everything that we've all been taught as fitness salespeople over the years. We're just consistent and we're passionate about it. One of the big things I told you earlier is that the model says hire entry level person, right? Pay them $10 to $15 an hour, and that person's supposed to be the one who's making all the phone calls, generating new memberships and prospects for your business. In what industry is the lowest paid person the driver of the business?
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Not a good one.
Not a successful one.
None.
None.
No. I don't think there's anywhere you can go where like the lowest person on the totem pole is the one that's most involved with the growth of the business.
If they are, that's a very fleeting moment, because as soon as they realize their worth to whatever they're doing,
they bounce and they want somewhere.
They're gone. They're gone. Yeah. Like I said with me, right? Like, I loved all the places I worked, but like it got to the point where it's like, you can't pay me more for all of this that I'm doing for the business. Like, I'm going to go, right? If we hire somebody $10, $15 an hour, and let's say they are a rock star, right? They kill it. They sign up. They're your number, because you can't survive on $15 an hour, $20 an hour, right? And the budget for these fitness centers, are, this is it, and that's it. I don't got anything for you, right? That, and in most cases, they aren't willing to take the chance to see if it's going to work first, right? And so people aren't going to sit there, and the turnover for these gyms and studios is just constant.
That's huge.
It's just constant. So the franchise owners Big box owners, you're just hiring, training, praying that person's good at their job and doesn't have ambition to do more.
Right.
That's quite a unicorn to try to find.
It doesn't work. So
right.
It's just a vicious cycle of continuing to turn people over, and that's where I'm trying to like put a wedge in this industry and say, okay, hey, listen, pay us the same entry level amount, essentially, right? Like what it comes out, what our pitch is $65 a day, right? And you have a team of salespeople who are going to call your leads, text your leads, email your leads in hope to get them to buy a membership or a package, right? And no matter what happens on the ground, no matter who quits, no matter who leaves, no matter what's going on, at least you know you have a professional sales service that's going to keep the most important part of your business running on the back end, right? So that's what we're solving for at the Sales Arms now for our clients, right? It starts as, can you grow our membership? And then 2 months later, they're like, oh my God, I took the first vacation I've had in so long because the business was going, I was good, right? And I'm realizing that with every day that goes by, old school fitness salespeople and business, managers like ourselves are becoming, extinct, right? You're not finding that anymore. You're not finding that quality person who's going to work for $30,000 or $40,000 a year.
I think that mentality has just burned people out.
Yeah.
Your business increased by like 1,000%.
Right.
However you reached people, you're reaching the people, not just like numbers on a spreadsheet, right? So however you've done it, that's what's going to get people to buy into whatever it is you're trying to sell. They don't want to be spoken to like numbers. They don't want to be spoken to just like, we need your money, so just come spend it here. Whatever your approach is clearly is working, but it must be a very personal, tailored approach that people feel like, I'm going to get my value out of spending my dollar here. And that's one thing that John and I have talked about, like having this very specific services and creating value for your customers, what's going to bring them back, not just like running deals or specials or like fancy equipment or whatever. Like you have to build, like you said, community and make them feel like their dollar is going to go somewhere for them.
Like one of the big things, like I said earlier, right? Like when you're selling in the gym, as soon as you sign somebody up as a member, it's like, all right, boom, check it on the whiteboard. Get to the next sale.
And you forget about them, right?
But that's the beginning of that person's fitness. You just convinced that person to actually start working out, and now you're like, all right, bye, right? And you left them. So one of the big things that we do for our clients is we'll handhold those members through the next 2 months, right? We'll call them each week, make sure they're booking. If they're not booking, we're going to get them in class. We're going to put them on to different instructors so they're not just so set on one. Okay. We're going to create a sticky member for you as well, because the other side of it is the attrition, right? You can sign them up, but if that person cancels at the next month, you're just spinning your wheels. So.
Right, because you're giving them an experience at this point. That was like my next question is, do you actually, let's say you do sell them on a membership, do you also do the follow, as your business, do you do the follow-up to upgrade them also, or do any ancillary stuff like that as well?
Yeah, so one of the cool things that we do, which is kind of bringing, future software into like old school gym stuff, right? We all of our clients, we create a Slack channel. I don't know if you've used that
Slack
before. No. It's like a work chat app.
I saw it on TV. I didn't know what it does.
Right? Essentially, it's a group chat for work, right? But what we do is we create a private channel for your studio. We put everybody that's involved in the process. So like all your instructors, your front desk people, your GM, you as an owner, my entire team all in there, right? So every day my team is calling your leads. If we book somebody, hey, we just booked John. He used to be a power lifter, wants to add cardio into his game. Pitch him the 8-pack. We think he'll be good for 2 times a week, right? So we send that every night. It's called Potentials. We send it every night to the channel so that everybody on the ground knows who the sales potentials are that are coming in on a day-to-day basis, who to focus your energy on more, so that the team on the ground is just focused on what to do in studio as well, because when you're in the gym, all it takes is one chatty Cathy member to pull you away, and then your whole thing is gone. So we're putting in a lot of processes that hold people accountable to the day-to-day needs of growing the fitness studio, whereas most studios now, it's all just said. It's all out there, and everybody's supposed to do it, but there's no glue, right? You have the instructors over here, you have the front desk people, then you have the owners, and like everybody's trying to tell everybody what to do, but there's nobody holding it all together. So we're starting to pull it all together for everybody, and it's naturally bringing everybody into the process and getting people involved that before it was just in one ear and out the other. Now we ask, hey, we sent you those potentials last night. What'd you learn about them?
So you actually follow up with the staff.
Follow up with the staff now.
Wow.
Yeah, to say, hey, it's okay if they didn't sign up. No problem. Like, we're here to follow up for you, right? But did you talk to them? Did you pitch them anything? What they say?
Did you do your part, right?
Yeah, exactly. So because they have to give us that information back, it again forces them to be accountable to the interactions of the people that are coming in, and it's just creating this great spirit in the studio
that's huge.
That is huge. The fact that you even hold the staff accountable as well as the members themselves. That's
we could use that. Like, we've come so far, and we're privately owned. We've come so far, but out of a few intros I've had in the last couple of weeks, I hate it when someone comes in, and I usually just hit them with a, hey, how are you? Talk to me. Like, what are you doing here? What made you pick us? What are you trying to do? And some people are like, I don't know, someone told me I had to meet with a trainer at some point. Like, they don't even tell, like, am I talking to you as a trainer? Am I talking to you as the nutrition guy? Yeah. Like, what am I doing? And it's like they don't properly explain to them what we're trying to give them off the bat. It's like they just wanted to get that thing ticked off the sheet. Like, I set them up with their intro. I'm like, no, tell them what it is. Tell them what they're going to get. And then let me know so I know what I'm walking into, or at least give me their information so I can reach out first.
Right.
And then I know I can have a conversation before we even meet face to face.
Right. You have a game plan. Right.
So we boast, like, your leads now are coming in warm, right? There's no more cold leads anymore, right? Because we've chummed them up on the phone and through text before they've even set foot in the first time. You know that they're coming in now. You know anything about, like, the little conversation, so you can pick up into the second part of a conversation, whereas in most cases you're having the first introductory conversation when somebody comes in. So you're already at that second part where it's, all right, let me know if you love class, and then we'll just sign you up at this point, because you already know everything at that point. And that's our goal, is to just make your life on the ground in studio easy, where all you have to focus on is the experience in the four walls. Because that's the one thing that gets lost, and that's what people really do hate. They hate making the phone calls. They hate following up with people and texting and everything like that. So, like, we're like the garbage bin, right? We're just going to pick everything up for you. We're going to clean it up, tidy it up for you, and that's it, right? So
it's a very unique way of putting it. With the garbage bin. Oh, that's
he's right though. I hate making phone calls. I'm
not the easiest to do.
They send me. Mike, maybe he hasn't done it in like last month, but he would send me on the first. He would send me all the new memberships for the month. I didn't send a fucking email once. I don't do it.
The email's the easy way to do it.
I know, but I just can't. I've had almost no success, and it's the people who are going to come in and spend money, they do it regardless. And I like having more organic conversations.
I told you, and
not that it doesn't have a place, because clearly what he's doing has a place. It's just not that I'm just no good at it.
And honestly, I'll keep it real, and a lot of the higher ups might not agree with this, but the phone calls aren't what's doing it.
Yes, say it again, please.
So phone calls are not closing the deals.
Yes,
right? When we do close on the phone, it was, hey, we just called you through text. So now they know who they're speaking to, and then it's a conversation in text that's going through. But let's really think about it. How many people in here answer their? You said it before. I just had a spam call. Should I answer it?
Yeah.
Right? Should I call them back? No, we're not calling them back, and I'm not picking up that phone. Right? So, like, is it really the best to have somebody sit at a desk and call people when we know that people aren't answering the phone? Most of the time, your demographic should have a full-time job, and they can't talk
Right.
at the time that you have somebody
Should have
call.
a full-time job. Right.
What do you mean you're not going to answer my phone call at 9:45 in the morning?
The best times that we reach out to people, like between 6 and 8 p.m., Sunday, 5:30 to 8, like that's when we're working the most on my team, because that's when people actually answer, right? There's still this issue of going through the motions, right? Like, you're supposed to call 60 people today and sign them up. It's like, if you text 60 people, hey, are you interested in coming in, right?
No,
and
click.
10 people respond back, yes. Call those 10, right? Like that.
It literally said.
People will answer text messages. People, if they see your text, you put their name in it, and you ask them a question relevant to something that they understand, they'll answer that. And then they might actually answer the phone. But to call first, it doesn't work.
What's funny is that also, because I'm probably a bad employee for doing this, but I sometimes don't schedule my week out like ahead of time. I usually do it like on the day or whatever.
Right.
But everyone knows my schedule.
Right.
And all I ask is if someone new comes in, just ask me or give me their info first again so I can start it. Like, I want to be their first point of contact. But to Chris's point, I saw a couple sessions in my schedule on our app, and I'm like, I don't know who this is. No one told me anything, and I got to move them. So I text them because I can get their info through the app. I text them, and they immediately have gotten back to me. And I asked if they can move to a time I need them to. And they're like, you know what? That actually works so much better for me. And then I'm like, why are you not set up at a time that works best for you? I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's a hard sell, right? People are like, get them in immediately. You know,
and I'm not saying that the guys who were doing this in my place are like idiots, because they're not. I'm just curious as to how that's happened like 2 times in a row.
I think that they're so used to being the management process, right? Whatever has been drilled in them to, because it's always been, as soon as you get on the phone, you close them, book them immediately for a session. Ask them, are you a morning person or a night person? Night person? All right, cool. Are you a female or a male? You're a female? All right, I got Bobby Joe over here at 6:30 at night. We're going to hook you up right then and there. And then they have to accept it, right? Because that's the only option, apparently. Rather than...
So you know what happens with people going through the process like that? Like the people, like the us's of the world just going through the process of that? You end up just burning leads to do the job. To say you did the job. Right? And like that's one of the big things that we see when we go into somebody's studio, right? It's almost better if you had a staff that never listened to you and never did anything, right? Because those leads are still fresh. If you run into the studio or the gym that had somebody who was clocking hours just doing the work, a lot of those times those leads are burned, and now they never came in, or they came in once and they never will come back because you just harassed them.
Exactly.
Because your boss said you need to make X amount of calls, you need to make X amount of emails, and you were just doing it to get it done, right? And the one thing I tell people on the pitch is not all contact points are made equal, right? Like you could say hi to somebody 5 different ways, and that could be taken, 5 different ways. Right. So it's really important in terms of working leads, how you speak to them, how you reach out to them, right? Like we were saying millennials earlier, like don't know how to text people, right? You just start texting stuff that an older person doesn't even understand. They just send back stop. Now you can never work that lead, but that lead still costed you something. And in most of these boutique studios, they're paying $1,000 to $2,000 for digital marketing to get their leads. $20 cost per lead, $15 cost per lead, and that person never even comes in. Yeah, that's taking $20 and throwing it right out the window. Right? So like, if you're going to pay for leads, right, then you should probably pay for a professional to work those leads so that you get the most out of them.
Right.
Right. Stop hiring a $10, $15 hour employee to call this person and try to push their business for you who doesn't care. Right? Who maybe has never even had a job before, maybe never even had a sales job before, right? Like,
I could push a broom in Home Depot for $15 an hour and have zero responsibility.
Right.
You still don't know what's going on.
Get paid the same, right? But what? You're going to have that person run your business? You're going to have that person work the $20 lead that you spent for on your digital advertising,
Right.
you're not going to do that, right? Because it might make more sense for me to take $20, go outside the studio and say, hey, here's $20.
Come
Take a class.
Yeah.
I'm going to hopefully make you love it and close you after that, right?
Yeah.
As opposed
Yeah.
to spending it on marketing and that person never even coming in because somebody called them 5 times in one day because they wanted to get their numbers up.
Right. No, that's great advice. It totally makes sense on how you got to spend the money and where it should go. You want to say something?
No.
Real quick, I know we are tight on time. Question popped up into my head. In developing those leads, those hot leads or warm leads that you guys are basically calling, where do you feel that they're coming? The quality leads, these hot leads. Where are they coming? Are they all digital, or is it? I mean, I know we kind of briefly spoke about this when we spoke on the phone. Like we dropped almost thousands of dollars on paper leads and mailers and newspapers, and I was just like, we got absolutely nothing out of it, right?
You can't track it.
Can't track. That's true, right? We don't know who's opening what to.
Got
They opened up their mail. I don't know if they did.
And we all know where that's going too. It's going to the garbage.
Right.
It's going to the garbage. Like it's just so. The marketing side of this, right, the lead generation side, is still something that like needs to be figured out. Right, there's a lot of marketing companies out there that run Facebook and Instagram ads for these studios, and you'll get like 200 leads in a month, and 60 of them will actually come in for a first class. Right, so like you're supposed to be getting qualified leads from these companies, and people aren't even coming in, right? So, like, there's something to be said there. So, like, the best studios, they have, like, all 3 plates spinning, right? They have their digital marketing, right? They have a great team on the ground that's going out and becoming and meeting the other small businesses in the area, and they're doing business-to-business promotions. And, business to business is still the best lead generated. It's just the same thing. Very hard to find somebody who's willing to go to a business and say, hey, I work at the New York Sports Club up the road. We'd love to have you guys in here.
Who are they?
That's the same person you're trying to find to work your leads at the high level. They're just not there. So to answer the question, the best studios have a mix of digital and grassroots that they're really working to the highest level. And I would say it's 70% digital, 30% grassroots. That's what it is now. But it should be 70% grassroots, 30% digital, in my opinion.
But everyone's still on their phones. That's the problem at this point. Or just no.
That's like Gary Vee would say. Like, where's your attention? Right. All your attention mostly still here.
Right.
So 70% is high, but even 30. I think 30% is pretty good for grassroots considering.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a newer place.
Most of the time, right? When you still meet somebody and you ask them to come, they feel accountable to the person that they met. Whereas when you're putting your name in like a lead form online, you're just filling shit out.
There's still no replacement for like the one-on-one, the face-to-face.
Nothing.
That's never gonna go away.
We don't have people to be face-to-face anymore.
Does your approach change based on the studio itself? Like, are they PT only? Are they classes? Are they like group training?
So,
and do you find any one of those tends to generate better leads than the others?
The studios that have a mix of weight training and cardio do the best.
Okay.
The cardio-based studios do well in the first month or two, but they have higher attrition. You get a more quality lead when you have that the cardio and weight training modality mix, because you don't have to go somewhere else to get all of these results.
Yes.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
And then when you try to market someone as the results place, do you like testimonials? Do you like visual, like before and after? Like, what do you think plays the best?
Testimonials and visual before and after. I would say more so the visual before and after as like the fishing reel that gets them in, and then it's the story of how the community and the workout changed their life that gets that person to commit.
It's funny because I'm so glad he said that, because I just asked a bunch of clients, like some of my best ones, and since we reopened, said I don't want like a testimonial because I kind of hate that word, but I said, can you give me like a paragraph or two about like your experience coming back here and working with me and how you felt since you've been back here working out at the gym? They're like, of course I'll do that.
Oh, we should ask.
That's honestly what.
And I'll just use that on my own personal RPM page.
That's helped us as a company as well. That's what helped us grow so fast. So like in the past 2 months, we've added 25 clients, right? Like two and a half months.
I can't even think of like 25 boutiques.
I know. I was like, yeah.
And it was all because one of my clients wrote in like a Facebook group with like a bunch of franchise owners, like, these guys came in, they took care of us, they're passionate about it, they're here for us. And my studio the processes are in place in my studio are better than they were before, right? And we're starting to see those results, right? And then another one of my clients like commented on that and was like, yeah, they came in, Chris and team, like, were really knowledgeable. They really helped us. I was able to go on vacation, right? And then people like were just like, okay, look, let me look into them. Let me try it. Let me see it. And that was it, right? So like they saw the numbers for those studios, right? And then once they actually heard it from a fellow franchise owner, that's when it rolled. Because a lot of the people that are clients now, I pitched them and sent them pitch emails many a time before, and it was crickets. And then all of a sudden, this guy said this, and I'm like, oh wait, I sent you something 4 months ago, right? And so that's what it is, right? Like they were able to see that this guy's studio numbers were going up, right? And then that testimonial reeled them in, and that's what's helped us grow. And I think that's where the fitness industry is going, right? If you have something that looks good, right, that's attractive. People want something cool, Instagrammy, the Rumble boxings of the world, right? And then do you see people actually getting results and change? And that's where people are going, right? And you don't get enough of that in a big box gym because everybody's kind of solo.
Nobody cares.
Yeah,
nobody gives a shit in LA Fitness.
How do we fix that?
But why do you want to fix it?
Because we're in it.
Is this place really big box though?
No, well, it's still membership based.
Yes,
right. And it's still open. It's still the whole thing where you walk through and you have to put your headphones on, right? Because as much as we want to promote our Group X, right, which is still great, still probably one of the best in Bergen County, in my opinion, here specifically. One thing is we don't have community, right? But we are still big box. But just even going back to what you said about even the Facebook stuff, that's community. That's just a group of people, it's just a community talking good about one person, and they're like, yeah, man, let's have this guy build our business.
That's one of the things I found at Peloton that like really had them crushed, right? Like the bike is one thing, but if you once you get the bike, you get invited to the Peloton Facebook community.
Yeah,
right?
Is that really that big? I mean, people talk about all the time private Facebook pages for all your stuff.
Illuminati type membership.
Right?
It's crazy. It's crazy, right? Because think about it like this. Like, imagine you were somebody that was hard of having friends growing up in life, right? And like even now, you don't have many people to spend time with or connect with.
It's this little room, I think.
You buy this bike, and all of a sudden you have 60,000 friends who are
$10 a month. It's a bargain.
Oh my God, you got your bike. What you screening? Let's ride together. And then all of a sudden you've got all these friends, and it's like boom, community.
Right.
That's what people are looking. That's what a lot of people are looking for as well. Like the results. Those are the results, right? Those are the results.
You feel good.
Exactly. Mentally, you feel great because of that. Great. And that's one of the areas that's really taking over the fitness industry very quietly. Is like if you can create community, People were going to go and stay. Right. A lot of times people can create that smoke, right? Oh, sick facility, the newest equipment, everything you go in there, it's just stale, right? Yeah. This is a bunch of people flexing on their own, doing their thing, right? You don't even feel like you fit in because everybody looks so perfect at this cool place, right? But then you go to a place like I'll call it Chaos, right?
Chaos,
I'm personal trainer at Chaos. It's not it's been there for 15 years, right? It doesn't have the newest equipment, but it's one of the most consistent gyms in New Jersey because of the community.
Right.
Because people go there and it doesn't matter what you look like or what you do. Everybody embraces you and you feel good. So like, I feel like those who are really focusing on community and that experience are the ones that are going to be winning in the future. And the ones that don't and just think that it's just numbers, just keep trying to sell more, they will fall out.
You know what's funny is that we have a few people who wear the Chaos clothing in our gym. So I'm at the gym in Englewood, right? It's like right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
So the people I talk to, because I see that and I have some experience with the owner. I don't know his name. Is it Chris also?
No, there's Ali, Brian, and Gene.
I think maybe Brian.
Black guy?
Yeah.
Brian.
Okay. But anyway, it's like I kind of know the type of person I'm going to be speaking to because I know where they're coming from. And I've seen the community and the stuff that they've done there.
Right.
And they've been very successful for a long period of time.
Oh, yeah. Chaos has been around for a while.
But the point that's being made is that it's not because of like
I've never even seen the inside of their facility besides pictures. I just know whatever they do there is working.
Swimmer is really small.
Everybody treats everybody like family, no matter where you are. You're being built up, right? We just had a powerlifting meeting for clients and trainers, right? And like you have girls in there that have never been powerlifting, right? Like deadlifting 225, and everybody just and like that feeling of just being a part of something is what really is changing the game in the fitness industry, and that's what I'm trying to preach to a lot of my clients. Like, let me take on this sales stuff on the back end. You guys just focus on creating the best experience in that four walls where people are going to leave and be like, we got to go back there. Like, I hated that class, but it was just, the energy was wonderful.
Right.
You know? And let it grow on you from there.
That's what I would like. That's what I think you guys need here.
Okay.
Like, I don't like that. I don't know if you mean it in that way, but I don't like hearing you say, like, how do we fix the big box? I wouldn't want you to fix the big box here. You have a big box type facility, but I'd love to see that type of community somehow get started here.
Oh, yeah. No, that's exactly what I mean. I'm like, how do we start it here? Like, what do we do? But I know that's within ourselves.
I don't know. It sounds like you hire Chris. Sold himself and he didn't even try it.
How do you think I tried to get I'm trying to figure out how we can afford him. That was the difference. That's the big difference.
It's not, again, it's just like fitness. You can afford it, right? Do you believe that you're going to get the results? Right?
I believe it. It's the pockets of the other people that don't believe it.
He's selling. Selling.
Hey,
This guy's neck and neck with Andrew.
put them together. Could you imagine?
I would love to have them both on at the same time.
Yeah, I think
or get him, Will, and Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine?
That'd be great.
Can you imagine what we would come
Something
out with?
should fucking come out of
That was
that.
the point. That's why I wanted Will to actually meet up with Chris also, because a mutual friend of ours has a lot of connections, and he's part of the Orange Theory group.
Okay, nice.
So it's pretty unique in that he's got a lot of stuff going on. If you do marketing stuff, he's something
OTF has done a really good job of establishing themselves as a sales company first, right? And that's why they've done so well, because unlike a lot of boutique fitness studios, they think fitness first and then like sell. Like Orange Theory is like, no, we're a sales company and we sell fitness, right?
They see themselves more as a tech company.
There's a lot of process involved. Everybody that works there has to be involved in the process of growing the studio, whereas a lot of these boutique studios, the instructors don't even have to be involved in the selling process whatsoever. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, when I was at Orange Theory, it was like all hands on deck. Everyone's involved. your handoff to this person, to that person was huge. It was
so
huge.
a lot of what a lot of studios are trying to emulate is a lot of that process from Mind's theory mixed with the warmth, right, where you don't get that gym PTSD.
Right.
But to his point, even when we were talking to Nate, he said that Will kind of, I don't want to say runs it like fast and loose, but lets everyone kind of, he's pulled himself away from the very rigid corporate structure and lets everyone kind of have their own identity within that model.
Right.
And it kind of clearly their numbers speak for themselves, so it's working.
Right. And that's what you mean by community. He literally lets all his team have fun, like be part of, be real humans, as well as the members. And the members just hang out. They will go out. They'll do their special events.
They become the salespeople for your business, right? Like that's the goal, is to get your members to just continue to bring more people.
Right.
And you don't even have to pay them a salary.
You know.
You gotta give them free cups and free medals. That's
fine. It's totally fine.
The best studios, they're the referrals, right? And those referrals come from creating community. Right?
It is, yeah.
It all goes back. It all goes back to that, right? Like results and feeling like a place where you belong.
Right, and that's exactly where I think we definitely have to go with this facility or all the other facilities that we plan on being part of. Unfortunately, are we short on time, or do we?
Oh, we're way over.
We're way over. So, guys, unfortunately, we are over. we need to cut it short a little bit.
I feel like we're talking for 10 minutes. So
this was a good one.
I can keep talking.
So can we.
Listen, we definitely have to bring you back because we want to connect you with a couple other people. That's my big thing is connecting people with other people.
We got to have a round table.
Yeah, well, I want to do that.
I think there's a lot to really talk about when it comes to like the evolution of the fitness industry, right? Like it's not going to go anywhere, right? But it's ever changing, and
we're in it. We're dead in the middle right now. So it's like we know it's changing. Nothing's really. I don't think anything's really solidified. So it's guys like Andrew, guys like Chris that they're navigating,
right?
And it's great to try to get on with some of those ideas, and then as stuff starts to pan out, you get to see what's very successful and what's not, and then you just kind of take the next, whatever the next turn is going to be.
Right. It's gonna be, this is one hell of a ride. Let's put it that
It's
way.
it's super unknown, but that's also some of the most creative time.
Right. But unfortunately, our time is up, guys.
No more creativity.
Chris, before we go anywhere, please let the people know where they could find you with the business, your HTML, everything.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So again, my Instagram handle is regular_Chris. Not much happening there, but my regular life. What I would
just
love,
a couple 700-pound
right.
Nothing big.
What I would love for the people to know most about is my consulting company that we started, the Sales Arms. We are just that, right? We are the sales arm for membership-based businesses, right? So we are focused mostly in fitness now, but if you have a company or a business where you want to build recurring revenue, our model will fit. It's just a different pitch, right? So if you have anything where you're trying to build that recurring revenue to create a predictable business for yourself, please reach out, info at the Sales Arms or Chris at the Sales Arms. And I would love to talk to you, figure out what your business is and how we can help grow that recurring revenue and grow that business and that brand.
Awesome, guys. Chris, we thank you for being on this next podcast.
I really appreciate it.
We definitely want to bring you back. But guys, it's time for a close. So say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.